Good morning. My name is Chartier, President of the Métis Nation. Standing here with very mixed emotions, but I can say that 40 years ago, as President of the Canadian Indian Lawyers Association, I organized the first National Indian Child Welfare Conference. And that seems like a long time, and it is a long time. But I suppose in the life of a country, in the life of politics, 40 years may not be that long. But today, I'm very honored to be here with Minister Philpott, President Obed, National Chief Bellegarde, and also with Member of Parliament Daniel Vandale, strong Métis Nation advocate. There are many things going through my mind as I stand here, and what does this mean? What's the significance of this legislation? And it is big, and Minister Philpott has addressed some of the specifics of the impact that this will have on the lives of Indigenous peoples, including, of course, the Métis Nation. I think of anyone or any nation that is going to benefit from this the most, it is the Métis Nation. And I say that because for well over 100 years, we have been ignored, marginalized, our rights repressed, our rights denied, our existence as a nation people denied. Fortunately, over the past 35 years or so, particularly since the patriation of Canada's Constitution, we have been digging ourselves out of a big deficit, a big hole in this country. And with the leadership of Paul Martin, the Right Honourable Paul Martin, and now the Right Honourable Trudeau, the Métis Nation is finally getting to where we need to be. And with ministers such as the Honourable Jane Philpott working with us, and working with us in a good way, we have an opportunity. I think most of you are aware that the Métis Nation, the citizens of the Métis Nation, the children of the Métis Nation, are still not being dealt with the same as other Indigenous children. We have yet to be dealt with in terms of Métis residential schools. I attended one for 10 years, and at night when I was laying there with 150 other kids in these rows of beds, pining to be home, dreading the morning when I get my morning whippings from the nuns, you don't think something like this will ever come about. Our rejection from the apology of the Prime Minister of this country to former residential school students, our exclusion from the mandate of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, our current exclusion from the 60 scoop settlement, potential settlement. You know, these things hurt our people, hurt our spirit. We wonder why, like, are we third-class Indigenous people? But I must say, and commend this government, they have opened negotiations with us to address the residential schools issue, to address the 60 school issue. And this legislation is another step forward for us. when we get this, we will have a solid basis from which to work. Because how can we have a piece of legislation for all Indigenous people, for all our children, and not deal with what has happened to us in the past and work to correct that, to look at the reparations necessary between Canada and the Métis Nation. This legislation is going to take us a long way. And I believe that Minister Philpott joined us at the gravesite of President Louis on November 16th in St. Boniface. And I deliberately spoke to her about the integrity of the Métis Nation. We are distinct people based in Western Canada. We're not adjectives, we're not people of mixed ancestry. We are a distinct people with distinct rights, a distinct geographic homeland. Our children need protection like every other Indigenous child. And we know that we're on the right path to securing that. And I thank Minister Philpott sincerely for taking the lead on this. The government didn't have to do it, but Minister Philpott did. She called me and said, should we organize, I'd like to organize this emergency meeting. Are you with me? I said, yes, we're with you all the way. And I want to see this bill go all the way.